In this video, I'll show you how 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 In this video, I'll show you how
Alright, what's up, man? Ready to go. Just give me a minute. Just share it with a couple different places. Alright, what's up, man? Get started. Ready to go. Ready to go. Just give me a minute. Just share it with a couple different places. Alright, what's Get started. Get started. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. Just give me a minute. Share it with a couple different places. Alright, what's Get started. Get started. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. Just give me a minute. Share it with a couple different places. Alright, get started. Get started. Get started. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. Just give me a minute. Share it with a couple different places. Alright, get started. Get started. Get started. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. Just give me a minute. Share it with a couple different places. Alright, get started. Get started. Get started. Get started. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. Just give me a minute. Share it with a couple different places. Get started. Get started. Get started. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. Just give me a minute. Share it with a couple different places. Get started. Get started. Get started. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. Just give me a minute. Share it with a couple different places. Get started. Get started. Get started. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. Just give me a minute. All right, guys, what is up? I am back once again for, I don't want to necessarily call it a how-to video, but what is up? It's kind of a how-to video. Back once again for, I don't want to necessarily call it a how-to video, but what is 3 streams going up. Sorry about that, but we are going to be hooking up, well, a couple of my classic game consoles here to my computer. So there's a few things that I'm going to actually utilize here. For one, I'm actually going to be using the Elgato HD60 S Plus, which is actually a really cool thing. I've had it hooked up to my computer for a little while now, and have been able to play things like my PlayStation 4, and even my Xbox One on my computer when I wanted to. So this is one of the big things that you really need to get to be able to do that. Now, the only connection that you can actually make on this is through HDMI. So HDMI, as we know, was not available on some of the classic consoles like the Super Nintendo, the Dreamcast, the Gamecube. So what you need to do is you're going to need to buy an adapter or a converter, I guess you could say. So today, I went and bought myself this RCA to HDMI converter. So, cool little item. Generally retails for about $60 at Best Buy. You might be able to find them somewhere cheaper, probably online. Are they going to be as good a quality? I really couldn't tell you about that. But this is the one I was able to get because, well, I get some good deals. On top of that, obviously, you are going to need AV cables. So get your red, white, and yellows. Which is this what I get here? No, I don't. These are red, green, and blue. I have some extra ones floating around here because most of the stuff I have does not connect through a component. Plus, this converter only works with the red, white, and yellow composite cable, not the component. One other thing I'm going to get, found my actual system selector. So, old school system selector. Generally, you can find it with a whole bunch of different ports in the back there. The cool thing about this one is it does have Ethernet ports, so if I decided I wanted to hook things up together like different consoles and such, I could do that much more effectively with this particular one. This is actually an old one that I bought from GameStop. It was actually made by Pelican. Obviously, all the current game consoles that I have are going to have red, white, and yellow ports. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. On top of that, I'm going to have to use an HDMI cable to connect my converter right here, right up to my actual HDMI selector that I have down here, which I will pan down here in just a moment so that you can see exactly what I'm going to do. So let me kind of pan down here so where I'm working. Okay. So down here, I'm going to be cut off a little bit, so I got to get down here. I'm going to actually push this console over. I'm going to go ahead and set that selector up right underneath my HDMI selector right here. So I'm going to have a couple different selectors going. And then I should be able to hook my Dreamcast up, Super Nintendo, my Gamecube. I only have so many ports, so I'm only going to be able to do so much today. What's up, man? Thank you for coming in. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Shouldn't take too much time. It's just a matter of, is my wire management going to look on par? No, it's probably going to look pretty horrible. But at least I'm going to get the things up and running. I can always do my wire management a little bit later. So now that I got a few people in the stream, I'm going to go ahead and start doing a little bit of the work here and try to talk to you guys as I'm doing it. I apologize if my back is going to be to you guys. But hopefully you'll have a good time watching what I'm doing and watching the madness. I'm going to lower the camera a little more so you can get a little bit better look at what I'm doing too. So let's get you down here a little bit. Don't ask about the teddy bear, please. Whoever is actually watching. As you guys can see, I updated my stream a little bit, so I actually have this little ticker going across the bottom right here. I actually learned how to do that on a YouTube video I've been watching here the past few days. So, alright, I got lots of composite AV cables here. So, red, white, and yellow. That is going to be super long. Do I have anything shorter? Probably not. So it's probably going to be my shortest cable right here. Go ahead and open this little thing up here. I think this does have to be plugged into the wall. So unfortunately, I will have to do that. I'll give you guys here a close-up look at this stuff too as I'm taking it out of the box here. Now, in terms of the Elgato I have is already connected. Alright, so see, this is going to have your actual red, white, and yellow hooked up here. Now, hopefully I don't have an issue like I had my last stream with the autofocus. I think I did turn it off, so I shouldn't have that much of an issue with autofocus. And then there's my HDMI out, which allows me to hook up with 720p or even 1080p right here as well. So, this should be fairly interesting. They're probably going to be stacked right on top of each other right here. This one might be back somewhere in the back behind here. So this one, you got your power plug. I've got a full-on power brick right here. Well, it's not a brick. It's a dinky little thing. So this is really all it is to it. It's got to convert the actual signal itself. So once I run the wires and connect this to my selector right here, I should be able to hook anything up to this one. But we're going to take it a little farther. Like I said, we are going to connect this old style system selector here. Got little buttons on top here so I can switch back and forth between my different consoles. And I'm not really trying to burn time with you guys. You know, I do enjoy making these videos. I know some of you, hopefully a few of you that are on right now, paid attention to my Ninja Turtles video. So, if not, go on back and take a look at that. It was just me putting together a Ninja Turtles arcade machine. So, it was actually pretty cool. It was kind of a pain in the butt to actually do, but you know, I was able to do it pretty easily. How am I going to do this? Probably just the wire down. Alright, let's see if I can get lucky enough and feed this down far enough. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Once I get this all connected, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get one of the consoles fired up so we can see if we get any kind of video at all, which we should. We should, theoretically. Everything right now is theoretical. I'm gonna have to push this guy over, my Xbox over here. I'm gonna have to have some extra room. Just want to make sure it's not flush because that would be bad if I wanted to actually connect anything, like say, or if I wanted to let it where my console can breathe a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and take the HDMI cable, hook it up from here to my HDMI selector over here. And it's going to look pretty horrendous behind the Dreamcast right here, but it shouldn't be too bad. Well, that's what they all say. It's not going to look too bad. It's going to look amazing. Amazingly bad with wires all over the place. So, got that connected. Let's go ahead and try to mismanage my wires a little bit. And now, for the big guy. So I got my composite ports here. Okay, which one's the output? Put. Assuming R1 and R2 for just the audio then. So if you guys don't remember this particular box being sold, you are missing out on classic gaming goodness. Emphasis on the goodness. Oh my. And that cable is like 6, 7, 8 feet long. It's going to be a chore trying to actually get this to be somewhat hidden. Let's move Final Fantasy out of the way. Wires, wires everywhere. I will not do a stream on how to actually have good wire management because I'm absolutely horrible when it comes to wire management. Well, actually, okay. Well, I have a bet. I have another one. Oh, no, that's a PlayStation 2 cable. Alright, so there's some that look like they haven't even been used yet, or a little bit dusty because they've been sitting in the bottom of a box for a while. Well, we lost one, so hopefully that person will come back once they see what I'm going to do here. So I just need these a short distance, not the full 6 feet. So what I'm going to do something that people will tell you never to do. I'll wind these up a certain amount here to work with that wire management a little more. Maybe make it where it's just 1 or 2 feet. Use the tie right here. Alright, that's a little bit better. It's still ugly as hell, but it's only going to get better. I hope it does, at least. see what I can output. It's been so long since I've used this thing. It's off to the side again. And I think my goal tonight is to try to get my Dreamcast to actually work, because I really want to see if I can get that working. I got so excited about it that I went and had to find my Dreamcast extension cords for the controllers, because the controllers are only so long. I mean, I'm not too far away, but the console is going to be behind me where the screen is right there where you guys are sitting. Which I do have a way where I'll switch the screen so you can see what's going on. Alright, let's try to get old girl fired up. Even have some of the VMU memory cards right there for the Dreamcast, so very nice that I still have some of those. And so hopefully people are not going to continue dropping like flies on this. Let's see. Controller, this console has not been fired up in a while, so you see the wires are still nice and tight. See, I put one of my extension cables right here. So we're going to just go ahead and hook that up right off. That way I can have that ready. Alright, see, I got the blue translucent Dreamcast, so I'm going to try to hook that up right here. Just have the regular phone line in it. I did at one point I had the Ethernet adapter. I got it in California on Craigslist for a pretty decent price. However, I sold it for about $100 at the time, so I got it for like 20 bucks and sold it for $100. So at that time, it was definitely worth it. What's up, guys? I appreciate you guys joining the stream. I know there's not too much going on with it right now, but we are trying to hook my Dreamcast up to the computer and see if I can get some games going on it. Just gonna hook the Dreamcast up to input number 1. Run a power cable. Once I get this, I'm gonna... Oh, what are you? Number 3. Run a power cable around here. Let's run it from the top. How about that? As we've all heard it before, work smarter, not harder. Sorry, Sonic. All right. So we got our audio, our AV run. Got my power run. I hope it's the right cord. All right, let's move some of this stuff out of the way here. Let's switch the screen over. And let's see if I can get old girl to work. It sounds like a jet firing up. Let's see. It's working. Obviously, this is all theoretical. Well, I have nothing coming up. Let me try my different HDMI ports here, see if maybe I can get that working through a different HDMI port. Well, it's on, but I'm not getting any kind of video at all right now. Try a different resolution. Maybe try a different resolution. No. Nothing there. HDMI cable, is it connected? So, what could the deal be? Maybe it's got to have just HDMI. Maybe it's got to be connected straight to the HDMI. I don't know. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Well, I'm trying to see what's going on here. I'm going to switch back over to my other view here. See what the heck is going on. Oh, wait. Oh. Okay, I've got it. Hold on. Switch my screens over, guys. Actually managed to get it. Oh. I just have to pick. There we go. All right, how's that? All right, it has not been plugged in for a very long time, as you can tell. Oop. See if the controller's even going to work right. Let's try it without the extension cord. Nah, Devin. I would if I could. This console did not support HDMI. No. Oh, blasphemy. Let's see, let's hook up the right time and everything. Why not? 1998. Well, for many of us who were gamers that were actually alive at the time, this came out in 1999. 952. This is not gonna set automatically. Is it times 52? Get down here so I can kind of see what's going on. There we go. We actually have. What do I have on my game save? I haven't played this thing in forever. I don't have anything in that one, but I do have a second one. So let's see if anything was on either of these. I thought that I had two, like stuff on one. Nope, and on either one of those. But on the plus side, I have 3 VMUs. I think this one I actually had stuff on. Yes, these were all my game saves. Space Channel 5 Part 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So there were a lot of really good games I had on there. I still have some of these games too. Oh, what is the joystick doing? Let's try unplugging the controller, plug it back in. So we know that this one is actually working. This console is, this controller is being difficult. I'm plugging it without anything in there. Little events. Everything looking good. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go get a game because I forgot to bring a game in here with me. So. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, guys. So some of the things that I have to actually give a try, I have Resident Evil Code Veronica. I got some Soul Calibur. The original Soul Calibur, mind you. Not Soul Blade, that's a little bit older. Got Sonic Adventure, and how about some Power Stone? I haven't played Power Stone for forever. Probably one of the first full-on 4-player beat-em-up fighting games more than anything else. There were a couple on the original PlayStation, but they weren't really the best games in the world. Power Stone's got a couple scratches on it, but let's see if I can get it working. Let's try plugging my memory card in again. Oh yeah, there it goes. She's coming alive. She's coming alive, guys. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, you know, I appreciate it if you guys give a like, give a subscribe. Go ahead and say something in the chat. Don't be afraid. Now, the one thing that was cool about some of these games is if you look in here, in the VMU, when you play a game, it actually would come up with a little picture from the game itself. So this one's Power Stones. It's going to say that on there. Certain games had eggs, like Sonic the Hedgehog or Sonic Adventure actually had like a little egg. I think it was called chows at the time. So you can actually grow them up, you can hatch them. It's what they called a gigapet event essentially at the time. So, man, we are looking at some old classic stuff here. I know I may have lost a couple of you, so apologize for that. So, hopefully, though, you are liking this. At least some of this here. I just want to see how this is going to play. You know, I haven't played in a long time. So, you know, for a game that is, what, 15, 20 years old, it still works really well compared to some of the newer games. Yes, it is not 1080 resolution because this format didn't support that at the time. It was like 720p. But let's go ahead and give it a try.
Are you ready?
Okay, like I said, I've not played it in forever. Yep, I'm already getting my butt kicked. So some of my favorite games are like Soul Calibur. Oh, I feel better. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, yep, I'll get my butt kicked. Well, we'll pause that because, as we can see, it is actually working really, really well. So, I'm actually surprised it looks as good as it does, believe it or not. I never realized how loud the Dreamcast was. You know, I know that was an old, like 1 maybe 2X kind of disk drive. I know it was the, what did they call it? I think it was a GDU, gigabit disk or gigabyte disk, something like that. It was bigger than your standard 750 megabyte disk like you would normally find on a CD. Let's go ahead and turn this one off for right now. We know that it actually is working. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the regular. We're going to hook up maybe the Gamecube. All right. Welcome back. Do we want to do the GameCube or do we want to do the Super Nintendo? I think Super Nintendo, I have a couple of games. Right, some of the games I have are pretty horrible. However, super high impact football. I do have Final Fantasy II. And a fan favorite for everybody. I remember when it first came out with the console. Super Mario World. Can't argue with Super Mario World. So, maybe we'll give that one a try. And I do have a copy that I found like the free bin at Second and Charles. It's going to be Spider-Man and X-Men. So that is a good little game. I haven't had a chance to really play that one in many, many years. But let's do the Super Nintendo. Why the heck not? Other than the fact that I got to figure out how I'm going to run these wires. Oh, I'm going to have to pick a different spot for the Super. We will go down here. All the way down to the bottom. Cable's not going to work for me very well. Yeah, the plus side about some of the old consoles, especially the Nintendo consoles, Super Nintendo, N64, Super Nintendo, they all really used the same kind of AV cables. So they had kind of that funky, weird shape right there. Obviously, the Super was the first one of the Nintendo consoles to support this. But, of course, the adapter I have, it will not support your coaxial plug. Horrible, horrible little thing, but you know, probably have to get another one or two of these particular things to maybe make it worthwhile. Let's unhook the wires. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. I declare thumb war. I do not know if this will fit back behind here. Oh yeah. Plenty of room, plenty of room. Oh, I'll turn on my Xbox. Whoopsie. Come hither, Super Nintendo. You are going to be brought to life for the first time in many, many moons. Alright, let's hook console number 2 up. Again, like I said, the wire management is going to be absolutely horrible with this. But, well, not my fault. Maybe it is. But it'll be all right. I just gotta run a power cable for my Super. which is going to be way the heck over there. Console's way over here. Let's see if I can do this without wanting to kill myself. Oh yeah, I got plenty of length over here. Haha. Well, that's what she said. Alright, bad joke. Bad joke number 1 for the night. Bad joke, not dad joke. Looking really good. I mean, the wire is really good. It's not, that centerpiece isn't bent like some people tend to do because they cram it in there and go all sideways and weird with it. Come on. You can do it. I hope you can do it. Opposite direction of some of this wire here so that I might be able to get it to work. Okay. Okay. Alright, I might have to get strategic because it does not want to run very well through here. Move this Dreamcast controller. It's very horrible looking, so you hide all these wires. Go behind the Xbox cable here. Let us take Mario World here. Oh, tell me to not freeze. Ah, the stream froze. Alright, sorry about that, guys. The program I was using, OBS, decided it wanted to be a pain in the butt and crash on me. So, I apologize for that, guys. Hopefully, one of these... Hey, what's up, Sven? I have gotten to where I'm able to hook up my Super Nintendo and any of these other consoles up to right here. So, I just wanted to see if this is going to hook up and work correctly. We're going to try to see how some Super Mario World looks. How's that sound? I'm going to switch over to my secondary stream over here. Set, I call it P4. Yeah, what's up, man? What kind of idea you got? Okay, you're getting no power. Ah! Have a red light. Nostalgic collection. Alright, let me see. I'm getting some sound here. However, I'm getting no video. I heard it too. Let me try to get the program back up again. Aha. Alright, well, I hear it. I see it. Forgot it is going to be right there. So I managed to actually get it connected and... Oh yes. Now this is playing straight from a Super Nintendo. This isn't playing on an emulator or anything like that. So I managed to get not just my Super Nintendo right here. You may not see it right here, but I got my blue Dreamcast right here. Oh yeah, you do. I've got them both hooked up right now at the same time. I have maybe one more power plug. I can even plug my Gamecube into it if I want to. However, the games I have, I think, for Gamecube are pretty much all Japanese. Let's play a little bit. Like I said, I haven't played... Oh, what is... I'm not sure what the big yellow thing is down the middle of the screen there. Might have something to do with the AV cable, maybe? Or the fact that it's a very old... Yeah, I think my audio cable might, or my AV cable might not be very good for it. Might be getting a little bit of, Dorsal? There you go. Not sure if it is... Yeah, you see how it looks like the video is tearing a little bit in there? Mouse. See it right here? Lines here, so I'm probably eventually going to have to replace the actual AV cable. Great, replacing controller. See, maybe my controller could be bad too. It's... Oh yes, you know it. Let me try this controller. That controller doesn't even work. Okay, well. Maybe I'm in need of getting some new controllers, as well as an AV cable. Well, that one's still working. Damn, Yoshi, come back. Almost feels like I got a little bit of a delay here, but I mean, it could be a fact of the matter that, you know, that it's going. Ah. Ah. And just get through this level. There we go. Well, through. Yeah, it was a little bit, but as you can see, you know, some of the videos just not coming through the best here. Especially right in the middle of the screen there. See that? Looks like a yellowish looking stripe right there. So let me try one more other game. Let me put another game in. See if you might like this as nostalgia. Ready for a trip way back? So, this game's from a series of games that just had a remake come out just a couple weeks ago. Once you see it, you're going to have that nostalgia kind of kick in if the console wants to work right. Game wishes to work right. Please, work right. Let's do the old school fix. it has been sitting around and gathering some dust. So let's see if I get anything with this game or if it's going to be a bust. Come on and work. Probably eventually have to get. I probably have to get some rubbing alcohol, Q-tip, because fortunately my copy of Final Fantasy II is not loading up right this second. Let's try another game. Oh, this game's working. Alright, well, this game's attempting to work. There we go. Here is another trip down. Software Creations. Spider-Man and X-Men. Arcade's Revenge. Actually a little upset because one of these controllers isn't working. Both controllers should have been working. Ugh. However, this game's not going any farther than this screen right now. Now the console fully works. This game I got for free, so that may not work. Trying to do some testing here, try to see how things are going to work. No, I try not to do that for my stuff. But about this console, or I traded for this console many, many years ago. And I don't know if it is the console itself. Raise channel 4, I don't think I need to worry about that too much here. Yeah, no need to be mad specifically on this. Except the fact that I can only seem to get one game working where I can actually try it. So, look at how long these consoles take to start up. We are so spoiled by the current consoles right now that it's not even funny. I mean, we're expecting the games to be started up, within seconds. These consoles take a little while to get going. Alright, so I think, oh, there it goes. So yeah, it is working with Super Mario World with no problem. It's just any of these other games, I bet you are. I might have to put some rubbing alcohol in the game cartridge and go in and out of the actual console a few times, try to clean the heads a little bit, because these consoles always got dirty. Dirty, because they just sat in one spot for so long. Ooh. Just trying. I'm not sure if it's the games or if the console might need to have the heads replaced on them. Which I know it's not hard to replace the heads on them, or it could be this one has a CMOS battery in the side of it. Not sure if Final Fantasy II did, though. Anybody know off the top of their head if the Final Fantasy II did have a CMOS battery in there? I really would hate to have to damage this thing to open it up and replace it. Alright, come on, baby. Oh, Daddy, how you like it? Oh my goodness. Very, very bad. So yeah, it can't be a coincidence. A few games are not working. Come on. You can do it! Well, if this one doesn't work, if the Super Nintendo's not working like it should, well, it makes a pretty placeholder at least until I can get parts to fix it, repair it, or even replace it. Really depends on which one's going to be more cost effective. Probably going to be repair more than anything. Yeah, all I'm trying. That's what I'm sitting here waiting for. This one is, if it's going to load, Super High Impact Football. Great Super Nintendo game, especially for football players. I don't have any right now. I thought I had some, but it all got used up. But excuse me. Yeah, whoever had this before didn't clean the heads very well. So it very well might need to be cleaned a little bit. Thank you, thank you. Let me grab some rubbing alcohol on Q-tip. Alright, sorry about the wait. I'm going to try something here. Fortunately, I don't have any rubbing alcohol, but I have something that probably is going to work just as good. Something to thing right here. Any person should do. Oh yeah. That's pretty crowded up in there. Super high impact football here. Try to get this thing cleaned up a little bit. Like to call it the poor man's cleaner. So, if you can see here, I think it had a little bit of dirt and crud on the inside there. Ah! Dirty. It was super dirty. So there is Super Nintendo cleaning 101. Oh, really? Let's try to take this off. Ooh, boy, that Final Fantasy was dirty as hell. Your Covenant treasure. That's one thing I kind of miss, is I actually had a collector's edition Halo that, it was Halo 2 or 3, that actually came with a Master Chief helmet. That used to be pride and joy of my collection. Unfortunately, needed money really bad and we had to sell it, so I ended up getting a couple $100 just for that little helmet alone. Come on, Final Fantasy, you can do it. Alright, Final Fantasy, you suck. Aren't you doing it? Turn off. Maybe Game Cleaning 101 didn't really help it like I thought it did. Let's try a little. The thing that does suck about the Super Nintendo that I got is the guy who ended up getting it for, or giving it to me, or selling it to me, was one of these guys that bought consoles and cleaned them up and such. However, this guy, he took the bodies apart and he put the actual plastic housings through like a dishwasher or something. I mean, he put them in a sink and he just cleaned them and cleaned them. Wet that whistle. The only downside is when he did that, it rubbed off the stickers off the consoles. So this one, the little stickers that were on the front, is like all wiped clean. Plain white sticker instead of it saying original Nintendo game console. Ah ha ha. There you go. 1991. 30 years ago, this game. Ayola. Voila. I at one point did have Chrono Trigger as well, but I was like 11 years old, I believe. Oh, Captain Cecil. I'm going way back in the way back machine. But yeah, it's gonna look a little ugly up there in the solid colors, guys. I'm not sure if that has to do with conversion or, like I said, my AV cable, my AV. The only real way I could really tell is if I switched over to my Gamecube and turned it on to that section. Which I'm sure it's going to work. But it's actually working like it's supposed to. So, if it turns out, if you look at the stream about right in this area right there, that should be a solid dark blue. I'm one of those guys that is a stickler for how things are going to look. What's my highest resolution? Well, on my monitors I just have 1080 resolution. I mean, it could be the fact that they're 144 Hz monitors. That could be an issue too. don't necessarily think so. And these were definitely the games that people love. This game, it goes for about $50. Yeah, it's dark blue to me too. But it's just got little spots where the color is not like it should. Yeah, in the word box. What's up, viewer number 3? Appreciate you showing up. Haven't had too many viewers tonight, not as many as I did the making of my Ninja Turtle arcade. I'm not sure if you missed it or not. I did manage to get my Dreamcast working. Easily $50. I did give one Dreamcast game a try. How well it's going. Oh, we got Power Stone right there. Got that in my many years of big games, buying and selling them on Craigslist back in California. At one point I used to have over 700 actual physical games. But for one, I ran out of space. Secondly, I played the Dreamcast one time. Smack, smack, smack. That's blasphemy. For me, it was the Dreamcast is probably one of the most underrated consoles in the history of consoles. Plain and simple. The Saturn was a great console. The Dreamcast was a great follow-up. Unfortunately, it ended up killing Sega because of all of the hacking and the bootlegging and all of that as well. Oh, really? Well, I've got a lot of game knowledge. I was a collector for many years. I brought a couple of things up to people I worked with today. There was one guy, he couldn't believe some of the consoles that I was talking about. You know, did you know that Bandai released a console or two back in Japan? Oh, one of the earliest ones that they had was the Playdia. The Playdia was an interesting little console that came out, and it was mostly anime-based games that were released for that console. So when it came to that, really there weren't any other consoles that can really match that when it came to anime-based games. Now, granted, they only had maybe about 20 or 30 games that actually released for it. Really didn't do that great. Their games were more cutscene based, more Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z. I don't remember some of the others. I think they might have had a Ranma game as well. But they also had Ranma games for the Super Nintendo as well. So, PlayStation, Sony, they had like a developer kit that you could buy for the original PlayStation called the Playdia. Playdia was cool. It came out, it was a black PlayStation console. Look it up. Well, it's not the Playdia. It was called the Net Eurosi. Net Eurosi. So the Net Eurosi was a cool console. It was a cool concept. When they released it, people could buy the console. I think it was like $1,000 or $10,000 or something like that. And they had a contest that, you know, if you could make a game with that console, and they would actually sell it. This is true. Sega is to Sonic as Nintendo is to Mario. But each company that is out there has their own games that they're well known for. Bandai, Namco, got your Tekken. I can't remember half the games. There's just so many out there that were amazing games to actually play. computer had so many games that never came out on console. And how many years did it take them before they released a game like, say, Doom? It was what? Doom for Super Nintendo. It was released on a red cartridge, which was really cool. There weren't too many different colored cartridges. There were some red ones, there were some black ones, there were some bootleg ones. PlayStation is to Tony Hawk. Xbox is to Halo, at least back in that time. Back in those days, it was Tony Hawk, Ridge Racer. Those were a couple of big games that were released. Metal Gear Solid. I think Metal Gear Solid, if you had looked at it back at about the PlayStation 2 or older, then you would have definitely seen a bigger following for some of those games. Forza was great from the original Xbox going forward. But Halo 2, near and dear to my heart. I can honestly say that with no problem at all. Living back in California, me and my friends, we would go and we would get literally Metal Gear Solid was originally on the PlayStation. Now, the original Metal Gear, it was on the Nintendo, but oh man, what was the one? There was one that it was on before the original Nintendo. It was really the same game. It was before it was Metal Gear. It was before they released Snake. Was it Snake's Revenge? I think it was. Oh my god. Why did you have to do that to me? It wasn't the Atari. It wasn't Intellivision. Believe it or not, Mario wasn't on Nintendo first either. The original Metal Gear was on the original Nintendo. Oh, I gotta look this up, because now that's gonna drive me crazy. Thanks. Oh, let's see what it is. Because it's right on the tip of my tongue. First console from Metal. The MSX. That's what it was. The MSX was another console back in the 80s. It didn't have as huge of a following. However, it had enough of a following that some of those big games were released on it as well. I don't remember if that was... There was one other console that did get a Legend of Zelda kind of game. If you look back, Nintendo doesn't want to admit that ever happened. I want to say it may have been the MSX as well. Don't quote me on that, but I think it may have been the MSX. If anybody that's watching knows that, just post it down there in the chat room. The Sega Master System was also an amazing console back in the time. I think it was one of the few consoles at the time that was really released to go head-to-head with the original Nintendo. Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. And then it kind of, went from, Sega Genesis to the Sega CD, Sega Saturn. Nintendo obviously went from the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo. And that's when the PlayStation came out. Nintendo kind of shot themselves in the foot when they decided they didn't want to partner up with Sony for the Sony PlayStation add-on that they were going to do. Which the prototype that was created recently just sold. I believe it was like $70,000 or $80,000 or something. So the person got a lot of money just from finding it in his dad's attic. So I'm actually kind of surprised for that low. I figured it was going to go well over $100,000 just to get it. Some of the consoles I owned in the past had a Sega Master System, Super Nintendo, Nintendo front loader, and it had a top loader as well. So I've had some really cool. I think something else. I had like the side loader for the Sega CD. That thing, I mean, I can't believe how many add-ons the Sega Genesis had in general. You had the Sega CD. You had the 32X. I never really understood the 32X. It added a little bit of extra power to the Sega Genesis, but not enough to where it would have really been worth releasing it. Nintendo's big flop was the Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy could have been a great console, but it caused so many people to have massive headaches. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the Super Nintendo, but I'm glad I got it working now. Glad I got that working. But I'm gonna flip over to my main screen right here. So switch over. Alright. So I think I was getting drowned out a little bit by the sound of the Super Nintendo. What's up, streamers? Everybody's watching. Thank you for coming in. I ended up getting my Super Nintendo and I got my Dreamcast both working. The Super Nintendo took a little bit of work because it was a little bit dirty. It was redonkulously dirty. Yes. Redonkulous. What I said. In terms of games, I only brought a few Dreamcast games in here. Kind of got on a tangent there talking about the old console. I love talking about the old consoles. Some of them just kind of pop into my head, and some of them I completely forget about. But yeah, got my two system selectors up here. One for HDMI, the other one for your regular AV. Took me maybe about 30 minutes to get it up and running. Downside is you can see right here where all of this ugly wiring is. Yeah, there's not going to be too that. These consoles, there's wires everywhere. So, I'm glad that the newer consoles only have just a basic HDMI cable. They'll do video and audio rather than one cable that goes into this, and this. Yep, we sell it as well over at my work at Best Buy as well. So I wouldn't mind getting it. Some of the games are looking like really good, especially for Road Rash 2. Loved Road Rash. Road Rash was my game. That was probably one of my favorite games on the Sega Genesis in general. Next to, obviously, your Mortal Kombats and some of those. But the 3-button controller on the Genesis, yeah, 30 games is pretty good. I mean, I don't have enough room for all the consoles that I've actually got. This section right here, this is only a foot. I've got PlayStation 2, I've got a PlayStation 3 right here. Obviously my Xbox One and my PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 can fit in one of these. New one. The PlayStation wasn't what, or the N64 wasn't what. I have my original PlayStation right here. And I've still got it. With all of my stickers that I got from PSN Magazine. PlayStation Magazine. When I was going through some boxes the other day, I actually found a number of demo discs that I had. Now, my PlayStation is set to play Japanese games. I did get it modded, so I do have a mod chip in this thing. So I could play bootlegs, which I never really wanted to try to do. I mostly got it modded because I wanted to get the demo for Metal Gear Solid when it originally came out in Japan. Came with a magazine, not what it is. Oh god, yeah, Road Rash. Yeah, Road Rash. When it came out on the PlayStation, it had an amazing soundtrack. One of the big songs that was on there that I loved was by Soundgarden. I actually have it on my computer. It was a great sound, and it was also a fun game. You know, you're driving up beside people with chains and bats, and whack, whack. You were beating the snot out of them. And taking off. Now, when you get in that one motorcycle, the Phantom motorcycle or the Ghost motorcycle or whatever it was, holy crap. You are flying as fast as you possibly can until you hit something and you fly like miles and miles and miles. It was great. I loved that. I think I might still actually have the original Road Rash on PlayStation somewhere around here. Which means I eventually have to hook up PlayStation 1. But I could hook up my PlayStation 3 because I have a first generation PlayStation 3 here, which was fully backwards compatible PlayStation 1 game. PlayStation 2, it was only compatible to a certain extent. Wrap these wires up here. Yeah, I'm definitely a gaming aficionado. I really love the classics. The new stuff is good, but you can beat the new stuff. There were so many of the old games that people never, ever beat. I mean, for instance, did you ever play and beat Fester's Quest on the original Nintendo? That was probably one of the hardest games on that entire console. Did you ever play Superman for the N64? Not alone, nobody did. It's pretty bad when two of the worst games of all time were released on the N64. One of them being Superman 64. One of them also being Armageddon 64. You look up any information on those games, people will tell you that they were pretty darn bad. I can see why that controller doesn't work. Looks like something took a chunk out of the actual wire right there. So it probably has a cut or broken wire on the inside. Oop, and another one right there. I realized it was that one right there is probably the cause of why this controller no longer works. I feel bad. You know, you got people who are hopping in, watching, which I appreciate you guys watching no matter what. But join in the conversation. You know, we are talking games tonight. We are talking some games. Pretty bad that some of these controllers, some of these things, accessories, are gonna be more for looks. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, you would have had to actually get your PlayStation modded in order for that to work. Which, obviously, Sony was 100% against modding because people were abusing the ability to mod. So modding, people really associated more with playing bootleg games more than. That's why Dreamcast had so many problems with this. It was very easy to modify it, and then when somebody ended up getting a hold of the source code for the Dreamcast, that was the end of the console, because people could make their own games. I did it myself, just to see if I could. Used to have the boot disc. I still have my boot disc somewhere around here for it. It's in a box. where you had to use that to play the games. You'd have to pop the disc out and replace it with the actual game itself. It was the Utopia boot disc, if I'm not mistaken. What was one of the most bootlegged games for the Dreamcast? Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Easily the most bootlegged game on that console, if not probably one of the most bootlegged games on any console. So hands down, was probably the best version of it, even if you compare it to some of the later ones that were released on, say, the Xbox 360 and the, I think, PlayStation 3 as well. They were still great games, mind you. They were able to have the rosters a bit more updated, but it wasn't the same as the Dreamcast one. Dreamcast one had the colors that looked so much better. Character designs seemed like they flowed a little bit better. I believe it. A lot of people still don't realize the need for having to modify those old games. Oh, let's try to get this set where it looks halfway decent now. All these slide it over and make things look a little better. I remember the magazine that the original Metal Gear Solid demo came out on. Famitsu Wave. I'll be honest with you, I probably still have that demo floating around somewhere around here. But, well, I appreciate you coming in for the stream. I appreciate any of you guys that showed up for the stream as well, even though I think it's only Sven here that's left on my stream. But I do appreciate you coming in, and hopefully you guys maybe learned a little something when it came to the setup that I just did, as well as, some of the gaming conversation that we actually had here as well. So, until next time, guys, remember, game on. And you have a great night as well.